Thanks everyone for coming back for another segment of the MCR. I have Lynn to my left, Mac is to my right. My name is TJ. Thanks everyone for your support. We're on multiple platforms: BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, and I'm forgetting one. YouTube? Did I say YouTube? YouTube, BitChute, Rumble. All right. Thanks everyone. In any event, unless you've been living under a rock, and I say that way too often probably, but in this past week, we had an African American buy Twitter. Did you know he was African American?
I did, actually.
You know? Did you know that?
I did know.
Born in South Africa, lived there till he was like about 17. Relocated to Canada. Did some college for a couple years in Canada. Then he did some college in Pennsylvania, and then relocated to California and became a who's who in the tech industry.
Yes. And quite wealthy.
Yeah, and became a billionaire. Not just the tech industry, but he's putting rockets up into space too now. Anyway, he you know what? I didn't know much about Elon Musk till just a couple of weeks ago. You know, I mean, I knew he was. I knew who he was. I knew he was out there. I knew he was putting rockets into space, Tesla and whatnot, but I didn't really know anything else about him.
Electric cars.
And when I thought of Elon Musk, I thought of an eccentric, libertarian type of billionaire. That's maybe in a nutshell that's what he is. I don't know, but
sounds like it.
In any event, what I found interesting is, and this is kind of like I said, libertarian perspective. He bought Twitter because he didn't like the way the libs were running it. That's what it looks like to me, unless I'm getting it wrong.
Well, they ran every conservative, or virtually every conservative, off.
Yeah, and so the message in this particular segment here is the meltdown of the libs. I mean, just to hear them say on CNN, now people can get on there and say anything. Yeah, free speech. As
long as it doesn't present a clear and present danger to the public, everything you say is free speech. And we've said in the past, whether it was Trump pulling away the veneer, but you've got Elon Musk really exposing the libs for what they are. Any thoughts so far? Well, I think that's one gut punch to him, but they're really going to lose their mind when he comes out with his new phone that people claim is going to blow the iPhone out of the water.
Also,
it's going to be a Tesla phone.
Governor DeSantis made it known, and I wish I had written this down because I'd like to get this right. Governor DeSantis had come out, and I guess there was a Florida agency that had stock in Twitter, and they had sent.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, they had sent a letter to Twitter saying, you better be prepared to defend why you're not accepting Elon's bid, because initially they were trying to fight him off, and then once you got to the whole situation of stockholders saying, hey, you're not doing what's in the best interest of the stockholders.
Yes, the board of directors of any company.
Yeah.
Or any.
Everyone's got a boss.
Everyone's got financial. A Knights of Columbus Council. You have a fiduciary responsibility to do what's best for that organization. That's a legal responsibility. So when he offered them a price well above the stock price, he had them. They were painted into the corner, and they eventually had to acquiesce.
Well, he bought like 9-point-something%. Then they wanted him on the board, thinking that they could keep him from buying no more than 14%. And then in the meantime, they were trying to assemble another group that could buy more shares than he had, and that was when he pulled the trigger and said, "Okay, here's X amount for the whole thing."
$44 billion, which is a staggering amount of money. It's almost incomprehensible for me.
Heck, if I had $100,000, I'd retire today.
Yeah. What do you think? What was your reaction, Lynn, to that
I
purchase?
think it was, great because he played them at their own game and won, and now they're totally upset by what he's done.
Well, their game is lie, cheat, and steal, pull hoaxes. So, yeah, he just outsmarted them, basically.
Yeah, and something you have to keep in perspective. This guy's not a conservative, and that's why I said he's kind of an eccentric libertarian at best, maybe.
Right.
But and I've always joked around saying that I was a Republican with a really mean libertarian streak. So in some regard, I can respect that. But it takes some billionaire to get these people under control there.
Well, they were saying in the media that billionaires shouldn't own this kind of thing. And of course, do they think past the end of their nose? Because of course you hear about Jeff Bezos and so on and so forth. All these executives.
You got Soros doing what he's doing.
Soros, all these people who fund left-wing organizations, include Mark Zuckerberg, who meddled in the election, perhaps illegally. And that, if we didn't have a corrupt government in place at the moment, that might be investigated, and he might go to jail.
And then, holy moly, we got an African buying Twitter. If you can imagine the irony there,
Mm-hmm.
We are going to follow it up with a segment on the libs' response to Elon Musk's actions and his taking over of Twitter. So that's a little shameless tease for our next segment. That's all I got. If you guys any final thoughts?
I have one.
All right, what's your final thought?
I just can't wait to see those lips packing and moving out of the country.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're going to leave.
Right.
Yeah. All right. That's it for this one. Thanks, everyone. Catch you in the next segment. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.